fires were to take hold on the Bibby Stockholm, firefighters attempting to make entry and find the seat of fire and likely at some point make rescues would be greatly hampered by its design and over occupancy. We have some grave concerns in relation to the significant increase in the occupancy. So a significant increase in the occupancy, which from its original design, which it was designed to house 222 people. The Home Office now intend for it to be used for over 500 refugees and migrants. And that creates then significant fire safety concerns for us in relation to how the design of the Bibby is then, in our opinion, not suitable for that increased occupancy. It's not suitable in the relation to the size of the corridors, in relation to the size of the exit routes. And again, we heard yesterday that the fire safety point, the compound that was provided for migrants and refugees to escape to in the case of emergency was far too small. And again, that then raises greater concerns in relation to that. But then there are also operational concerns we have if fires were to take hold on the Bibby Stockholm, firefighters attempting to make entry and find the seat of fire and likely at some point make rescues would be greatly hampered by its design and over occupancy.
It was described yesterday as potentially a floating Grenfell. Do you think that your concerns are being taken seriously? I know Grant Shapps, cabinet minister, has been on TV putting the government side of the story, and he points out that the ship has already been used to house migrants and boats transport people all the time. Well, I mean, boats do transport people all the time, but I presume with safety regulations in place.
Yes, indeed. And yes, it has been used to house migrants and then workers. But those numbers that were on board the Bibby Stockholm at the time were nowhere near what the intended use and intended number is to be now. So that's what drives our greatest concerns. We have seen the comparisons to both the Hillsborough disaster and the Grenfell Tower fire. And whilst what we will keep our counsel in relation to much of that, but in relation to what similarities we see is prior to the Grenfell Tower fire, community groups, the Fire Brigades Union and other organisations were warning of potential dangers of fires in high-rise buildings. They were largely ignored by successive governments. What we're saying now is, whilst we believe we are the professional voice of the fire and rescue sector, we believe that government should take heed of what we're saying, meet with us, listen to our concerns, address them, and make sure that we don't face another disaster again.
Government sources are suggesting that you're doing this for political reasons, that you're politically motivated to wreck their plans. Do you understand why people might be cynical, and do you think that that's a fair concern?
We're only seeing that come from a government that, frankly, is trying to distract away from the real issue here. Our significant concerns, our political concerns, are in relation to the safety of our members, of firefighters that may be asked to tackle fires or make way to other emergencies on the Bibby, but equally to those that firefighters are duty bound to serve, to those communities and to those refugees and migrants that would be homed on the Bibby. We're not going to enter words of wars with the likes of Oliver Dowd and other governmental sources. We've invited them to meet with us. If they want to act like adults, we're happy to sit with them and discuss those concerns, but we won't be embarking on a war of words over news broadcasts.
Have they been in touch with you?
No, we wrote to the Home Secretary yesterday just after lunch, and we've had no contact with any governmental minister at all.
Just finally, is it possible to adapt the Bibby Stockholm to make it acceptable to you?
Well, that would be in the detail of what those changes would be, in fact, Mariella. But one thing I would say is what would have to significantly change to alleviate most of our safety concerns is to return the number down to what it was designed to be for, and that is around 222, not to overinflate the number of people on the Bibby to numbers in excess of 500 as the intended use now is.